YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, very, very simple. It is Keith Ngesi Radio. Radio, according to you, motivation, entertainment, spirituality, and current affairs. That's what we are. That's what we're doing, and that's what we bring to you. Thank you for your support. You could have been anywhere between 9 and 12, but look where you are. And that's because we love you. Thank you. Start with politics. Let's get it going. The Democratic Alliance's Mpho Phalatse said the bone of contention between her party and Action SA remains the Patriotic Alliance. The city of Johannesburg may have a new mayor on Friday after proceedings were postponed on Tuesday night due to parties not being able to decide on a candidate. The African National Congress, the EFF, the African National Congress and the EFF have been in alliance in the city, but there has been no agreement on their next candidate, while the DA and Action SA have differences over the Patriotic Alliance. Phalatse said the Patriotic Alliance dropped them before and would do it again. It was in January this year that we were ousted because of the PA decided to leave our coalition and go over to the ANC EFF side where they were offered better offers. Now they're saying they want to come back, and the DA is saying, what guarantee do we have that 3 months down the line you're not going to do or get a better offer and leave again? Action SA's Funzi Ngobeni said talks must continue to find common ground. We need to work together to avoid the doomsday that we all refer to. We need good maturity and a little bit of humility from the party's leaders. The ANC announced the plans to support Al Jama's Kabelo Kwamanda to become the new mayor, while the EFF is yet to comment on the way forward. So, Wizirka, who is an author, says, I have always been the greatest optimist and I continue to be the greatest advocate for South Africa. But when I look at the mess that it has become and has been created, I cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's Magda Wierska, who's the chair of the Signia Group. She says that while it's easy to feel demoralized, it's important that South Africans stand up against what is happening and fight for the country. She adds that one of the most important things that all citizens need to do is show up at the polls next year and do what we need to do. What we need, probably more than anything else, is for people to vote in the 2024 elections, where Zirka and her family escaped the communist Poland and found refuge in South Africa. So she has personal experience with a failed or failing state. However, she says she has also seen the way that a country like Poland can turn around if people can stand up and force a change. People took to the streets, and that is what forced the Communist Party to the table. That is what happened in her personal experience. And she's saying South Africa is slowly becoming a failed state if we also don't take action, which is decisive. The Pretoria High Court has now heard how Senzo Meyiwa remained responsive until he reached the hospital where he finally died. Meyiwa's friend Mtokozi Sitwala was back on the witness stand yesterday. He was one of a few people who were present when alleged intruders entered the home of Meyiwa's girlfriend, Singer Kelly Khumalo, in October 2014. Meyiwa was shot at the Volksflores home in what was the state believed was a robbery gone wrong. Twala said that after Meyiwa was shot, he lay on the sitting room floor of Khumalo's mother's house, gasping for air with a bullet in his chest, and visibly tearing up and with his jaw tightening. He said that once they decided to take him to the hospital, he laid Meyiwa on top of him. Meyiwa's friend Tumelo Madlala and Zandi Khumalo's sister in the back seat of the BMW X6. We were all just saying something to Senzo, and what I said to him was to think of his children. Twala said Meyiwa was taken to Butselong Hospital in a stretcher, and moments later, the nurses emerged to see an elderly person, and that's when she told Khumalo's mother, Gladness, that Meyiwa had died. While Madlala said there was no blood oozing from Meyiwa's wound during his testimony, Twala said there visibly was blood, and the towel that he used to cover the wound was stained with Senzo Meyiwa's blood after all. Former Eskom Chief Operating Officer Jan Oberholzer will remain at the utility in a new role to oversee projects aimed at pulling South Africa out of the power crisis, which is set to worsen as the winter and demand for electricity increases. It is also understood that Oberholzer, who retired on the 30th of April 2023, has signed a contract to stay on, but not in his former capacity as COO, which carried the responsibility of overseeing all Eskom's operations with generation, transmission, and distribution. His appointment comes at a crucial time for the country, with the intensity of rolling blackouts in the coming months likely to deepen to levels not seen before. Due mainly to long-term outages at Koeberg, Eskom's nuclear power plant, as well as Medupi and Kusile, its two newest, the biggest coal-fired power stations. In an exclusive interview, Oberholzer said that 2023 would continue to be a difficult year in terms of power outages, but work was on a schedule to address the problems at all three plants and to extend the operating license of Koeberg for another 20 years. But he also warned of near-term targets to raise the utility's overall energy ability factor, which measures the ability of all units in the Eskom fleet to produce electricity over a certain period, were likely to be missed. This was largely due to repairs work being undertaken on the Kusile 1, 2, and 3, and 5, Medupi Unit 4, and the extension life maintenance and refueling work on Koeberg Unit 1 and 2, which have together removed the equivalent of nearly 5,000 megawatts of generation capacity from the grid, the equivalent of 4 to 5 stages of load shedding. Here's why you and your kids fell for the prime hype. Clarence Ford is talking about this hype that happened with this energy drink, the hydration fuel, as they call it. They say that we're talking about an inflamed desire to have something for no particular reason. There are 4 main movements to hype. One of them is generating excitement about something before it happens. For Prime, it's about the part of being part of a group. Belonging, it's perceived value to the end of the day. You've got this dopamine response from having gotten the item, and the kids are amped. They're excited, and that's what they're there for. So this is probably not the first and last time this will happen, and I suppose parents get caught up in the hype as well. I would hope that some of your parents are out there talking to your kids about what is happening. You know, cool, I'm going to buy this drink for you, but don't you understand why you want it? Ask them why they want it, because if it's because other people have it, let them know that with or without the drink, they still have value. So it goes back to that discussion about the marketing aspect of all of this, and how well you are being utilized as part of the machine. But also, don't take away your personal value. Busisiwe Yiliwe Uti Molweni. Good morning to you too, Busi, and have a brilliant Throwback Thursday. So, amongst my friends, I'm known as cheap. I turn a penny twice, says Gert Johan Coetzee, the fashion designer. Now, Gert Johan Coetzee believes that you can never dream too big. It's all about glitz, glamour, bright lights, and red carpets. The fashion designer says on his Twitter profile, and the market has responded to his luxury vision, with celebrities regularly walking the red carpet in his high-end designs. Growing up in a small farming town of Koster in the northwest, Coetzee was already making dresses at the age of 8. He attributes some of his business success to the money lessons his family taught him as a child. Among my friends, I'm known as the snoopest person ever. I really turn a penny twice. He says, if you don't have cash flow, you have nothing. That is something that my family, my dad and mom, instilled in me from a young age, that you have to always be able to have that cash flow, because without that, there's no such thing as creativity. Looking at his siblings, the children enjoying their school holidays, he feels like these kids have the life. So when his school broke up, when school broke up, and that is when he went to work started, we all had our own little businesses, like selling dog food or chickens on the street. Those are the type of things that I'll be able to find fashion life and that I'm enjoying now, he says. The first time Coetzee got burned with money was when he entered into a partnership. With a chuckle, he gives it this pointer: the only ship that doesn't sail is a partnership. Valuable lessons learned. Olympian Tori Bowie has been found dead at her home in Florida. The death of the 32-year-old sprinter who won gold at the Rio 2016 Summer Olympics was confirmed in a statement released by her management company on Wednesday, which did not reveal any further details about the tragedy. It read, "We are devastated to share the very sad news that Tori Bowie has passed away. We lost a client, a dear friend, a daughter, and a sister. Tori was a champion, a beacon of light that shined so bright. We truly heartbroken, and our prayers are with the family and friends." Now, fellow sprinters Noah Lyles was among those who offered tributes to the late athlete, writing in a post that, "I can't believe this. I had just heard word from her going to be with her sister back home, and now this. This all breaks my heart, and my family and prayers are with her." This also gave for us as well, wishing her a peaceful transition to the other side. What do Chicago's grandest mansions, O.J. Simpson's former Florida home, and one of the most lavish English country houses ever built have in common? They were all unceremoniously torn down. Looking back over the years, we shine a light on the homes that had to be diminished, including that of the former Connecticut mansion of disgraced sex offender Harvey Weinstein, as the now bare plot put on the market for a combined price of $21 million. And they tore down that mansion like nobody's business, and you could just see the pictures of it. If you go down to lovemoney.com, you'll be able to see all of that and how they actually just tore it down, and the plot itself without the mansion on there is being sold for $21 million, to give you an idea of the kind of opulence and the standard of living that the now disgraced movie producer and sex offender Harvey Weinstein was living. In sports, although reluctant to discuss the matter publicly, Sundowns boss hinted to a young tactician could still be a Chlorkop beyond the current campaign. The two parties are locked in negotiations for a fresh deal, having elevated Mokoena to sole head coach in October last year, a decision proven to be a masterstroke. Mokoena helped guide the Sundowns to a record 6th league title with 7 games to spare, and has led the side to the semi-finals of the CAF Championships League for the first time in 4 years, where they will gain access and face Morocco's Wydad Casablanca. When pressed for more information, the Sundowns boss Patrice Motsepe spoke of his admiration for Mokoena, who returned to the club in 2020 to assist former coach Pitso Mosima, and subsequently took over as co-coach alongside Mangoba Mngqithi. Now, last week, Mokwena's agent Steve Kapulshinik told the public broadcaster he'd been getting calls from Morocco, Egypt, and Tanzania expressing interest in his client, but insisted that the coach wanted to stay at Sundowns, and if Motsepe's comments are anything to go by, it's likely that there will be an announcement soon.
This is KNR.